Loads of people are like mad about this. Instant Rocket E tier. I don't even have any E. It goes down to D. Okay, Rocket C4, Jackhammer S tier. Oh, okay, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Right. So the first item. I'm looking forward to this all day. First item is Stone Spear. Stone Spear, okay. I'm going to put the Stone Spear. I'm going to put it in D. I'm going to put it in D.
Stone Spear and Spear is like...
Well, the Stone Spear is worse than the Spear, right? Because it's so much more material.
Well,
so
the thing
if
is,
I put Spear...
right, from what I've learned from Sebi...
Okay.
It's you do a normal spear and then you make a stone spear with the broken spear, because you can do that.
Oh, can you?
Yeah.
Okay, here's what I'm gonna do then.
In my opinion, if you have a soft side base,
you convinced me.
Fucking spear. That
spear is C.
Is dang.
Spear is C. Regular spear is D. Stone spear is C. That's what we're doing. Wood is D. Yeah. Okay. So the way we're doing this, guys, we're weighing up. So what can it raid? Realistically, that can raid stone, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. So you can raid stone with it, and it's very cheap. And it's very easy to obtain. Anyone can get a stone spear. It's a free blueprint. Everyone can have that. So that's why we're doing it like that. Right, next. We've got a salvaged axe. I'm going to put that in D tier, because I think they're terrible. They're not good for raiding. They're worse than the regular.
Wood walls.
Yeah. And next we have the pit. I'm going to put that in D as well, because again, it's just not good. And here's my reasoning. It's because...
Where's the machete?
There's no machete here.
The price.
Regular axe is better than these pickaxes. You think the wood is better than the stone? You're crazy.
The stone and the wood spear would be at the same thing, because you technically it's gonna be the same item too.
Yeah, but like the stone spear does a bit more damage, right? It takes a bit less durability hit.
I think it takes more durability hit, but it does more damage.
We're doing it like this. This is how I'm doing it. If you can make a regular spear, break it, and then turn it into a thing spear after, you should have a picture of you and put it on the list, lol.
Oh yeah, that's S tier. Right there.
Okay, you think it's pick and C? No, this pick is in D. Right, okay. Jackhammer.
Jackhammer. That's S tier.
S tier. Anyone not okay with that?
You can go for fucking soft side high core with that shit.
You can.
Let's go.
Yeah, that is okay. No one had a problem with that.
Yeah, that's an S tier.
I think a heli is a good rating tool personally. Also, you think A? Why do you think A, Jacko? I think it's 100% S.
I guess it's not technically like a rating tool in the sense of you going through a building. It's more like a smart way of doing it.
It's very cheap. It's pretty easy to get. You can go through stone quickly, like fast. Like I would put it on A, time and refill, sure. I would put it on A because it's not good at everything, but it's so good at stone. I think it's S tier. Like if you are raiding late game and you don't have jackhammers, then you're kind of fucking up. You need soft side, durability. These are all valid You know what? I'm actually gonna do something I wasn't thinking. I'm gonna put it into A. You guys. I'm gonna put it into A because it is very niche. It's very niche in terms of its usefulness. The durability is a bit of a pain. There's like some other. A salvaged axe and pick should be C if a spear is there.
Yeah.
You think?
I mean.
Okay.
We're talking about raiding, by the way.
Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move spear down as well then. I'm moving spear down. Spear is now D as well.
That's technically right. Because, I mean, you won't always be able to use a jackhammer.
Yeah, I'm going to put it in A though because of just how good it is though when you have it in the right situation. Yeah.
Yeah, when you have it in the right one, it's good.
Okay. Next we have metal pick. I'm putting that in C. Yeah, because it's not anywhere near as good as a jackhammer. It's slow.
No bone club. This makes me sad.
No rock or bone club. I'm sorry I didn't put bone club in. I probably could have added that.
Well, we all know where they're going to be. So
they can't be here forever.
Rock is on Z.
You know what? No, I'm changing my mind. I'm putting the spear. Okay, I'm putting both regular spear and stone spear in C, and I'll tell you why. Because it's cheap and because everyone can have it. I'm doing. That's the final. We're not no back C's now. We're gonna stop going back and changing our minds. Okay, here we go. We've got Insyn shell.
It's only really good for TC.
Pretty much, right?
I think an incense series probably is like a D.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably D, just because of the usefulness.
You couldn't find a transparent background for that one, huh?
Yeah, I couldn't. It's good for wood roofs as well. It's pretty slow though. It's pretty slow.
It's not.
It's it's not that great. It's worse than you think it is as well for things like that. Okay, so flamethrower.
Oh, flamethrower. That's S tier.
I wouldn't say S
I will fight you with this.
Why do you think it's S
I will
tier?
fight you. Because you can run around and burn down half-built wooden bases, and you get so much loot.
The low grade is... It's a lot of low grade.
There's a couple of A's and a couple of E's. You know what?
And also, Ty, it's the reward as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's usually good.
It only works on wood.
But it's wooden.
It's S in the start.
I would put B.
You know what? I'm willing to put it up to B. A couple of people in chat are saying B as well. They're saying it's really good at the start. I'm not. Yeah.
I raided 3 wooden bases on this island, and I got so much shit. It's usually 2 wooden doors and 5 stone.
Low grade cost as well is quite high. True. I'm gonna put it up to B. Because I don't think it's A. I barely think it's B. But again, same with the jackhammer. Situationally, very useful. Very, very useful. Next, we've got bean can. Bear in mind, this isn't satchel. This is bean can. I think C as well, because it's not completely useless. It's not completely useless, but it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. No one really rates with bean cans. Some people are saying D. Some people are saying C. I think it's more useful than this is useless. Like, let's just clarify this. D is useless. Like, if you don't have it, it doesn't matter, right? Whereas C is like, it can be helpful sometimes. B is like, you should probably have one of these in your base, but you won't be using it a lot. A is like, you'll bring this to every raid, but like, not always use it. S is like, you have to have this no matter what. Like, if you don't have this, you can't raid. Like, it's so goddamn useful, so efficient, so cheap, so valuable. That's how I'm breaking this down in my head. So I'm going to put bean can at C, because I wouldn't use it, but I will bring some to raids sometimes if we just have some laying around. And they're kind of good. Yeah, they're kind of good for like if you need like an extra little bit of damage. Pipe and Yoka, I don't think they really count. Like Yoka, you could say, but I was gonna put handmade shell in, but then I was like, you know what, I'm not, because I could literally put everything as a raid tool at that point. With this, we have HE grenade. This is an interesting one. I want to see what you guys think first before I give my opinion on this.
That one I'm actually not sure about, because I rarely raided with it.
Yeah.
But
I mean, as a clan, you would probably raid with it, but
if you have a boatload of HE grenades and you have like nothing else,
I'd say B. But if that, but again, it's how many you have. But again, you could say that with C4 and all that, couldn't you?
Wait, what do you think it's S to?
A lot of people in chat are saying B or C.
I'd say B.
I'd say it's more useful than a bean can, but like they're kind of
more for raid defense, in my opinion.
Yeah, more for raid defense. I agree. But if you had to raid with it, bear in mind it does what, 5 of them to take down a sheet metal door, 40 damage per hit. So
is it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I'd put it B.
I'd put it B because, like I said, you could bring it to raids, but it's quite situational. And again, like, you need to have a lot of them for them to really be useful. But like, they're good for raiding.
Fucking F1 grenades in here.
Yeah. We're getting to that. Exploit bullet. Exploit bullet. S tier. Change my mind. Change my mind. Change my mind. S tier.
No, I agree.
No doubt.
I agree.
Absolutely no doubt. Hard to get launcher. I don't agree with that, to be honest, for the HE grenade.
It's nice. I love explosive ammo because it works well when you're solo as well.
Explosive ammo is my favourite kind of bullet because it is like, you bring rockets and stuff to a raid, use C4, whatever you use, the door has 20 HP left or whatever. Do you want to use another rocket? No.
Well,
5-6 exploit bullets. Yeah, not with C4. Exploit bullet. Yeah, exploit bullet is such an important blueprint. Insyn rocket. So these are good for like wooden bases.
That's not a raiding tool.
It's for like getting rid of auto turrets.
It's not raiding.
That is for auto turrets, I guess. That's true.
I would put it C.
No, put it at put it at B, because you could
I think
use,
B.
Yeah, because it's good
yeah,
for
A lot of people
so
saying
it's
C, D.
it's good for SAM
I would
sites as
put
well.
C, but
SAM sites, remember SAM sites.
I think it's very situational, so I think we should put it in B with the flamethrower. I think I'm kind of agreeing with you guys. Get rid of high wooden walls. They're kind of, yeah, you know, they got a couple of uses. They're great for turrets. B. I'm going to put it in B.
blocking off, shooting walls and stuff like that, shooting floors and stuff as well.
I'm going to put it in B. I think that's fair. Next we have high velocity rocket.
Again, it's not really raiding.
I'd say
Honestly,
that's-
I'd D.
D. You think worse?
It's useless.
It's good for auto turrets. It's good for auto turrets.
Let me put an argument down here. You can technically use HV rockets as the same as you use Explo ammo.
They are cheap.
It's 1 pipe and 100 gunpowder.
And you don't feel bad for wasting a HV rocket when you shoot it into a room with people, whereas you shoot a regular rocket, that's quite expensive. How much GP is a HV rocket compared to a regular rocket? That's I think what it comes down to, because I don't actually know what it is to craft one of these. I got a feeling it's only like 300 gunpowder though, or 150 or something. I think they're pretty cheap. 100 gunpowder.
I'm getting B, B, and A.
I'm getting like mainly B, C. I'd say a lot of B's and C's, and a couple of D's as well actually. S combat rocketing. I'm gonna put it in A, but I don't think it's a good position for it. I think we should put it in the same place as Ensign because it's kind of situational, and the same with HE. It's kind of situational, whether you need it or not.
I think B suits it.
I just think that it might be A because it's so close to explosive rounds, in my opinion.
They are quite cheap as well.
But you need a launcher to fire it.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, we need that
True.
for Ensign as well.
Yeah, that's why Ensign's in B, and that's why HE's in B as well.
Honestly, I think it belongs in B, but again,
I think it's in B, but I think it's a strong contender. Like, I would never craft them, but like if I have them, I take them out for raids and stuff because they are nice. They're very nice. 3 of them, get rid of an auto turret as well. I think it's a very strong B. I think it's edging towards A, but I'm going to leave it in B just because of the fact that you need a launcher to use it. we actually could put it like that, but I think that's kind of stupid. We're going to put it in B. Right, next we've got a regular rocket. I think S. I think S for regular rocket.
Yeah, I think that's very clear.
Does anyone have any gripes with rocket being an S tier? You can splash 4 walls at the same time. Some people are saying A. Some people are saying B.
The thing is, though, it has to go
Easy
in
S.
S because the thing is, it has to go in S because we have explosive ammo in S, and they two just go together.
You can put a heart around them.
Yeah, you can't have one of these without the other. If you're going raiding, unless it's like start of wipe.
Well, you
yeah,
can have explosive ammo without.
S classic. It's iconic. Yeah, I think if you go out raiding, you hit 7 of these on sheet metal walls, and then you do a bit of explode to finish it off, rather than wasting the 8th rocket. They go so well together. They're both S tier in my mind. And if I'm going raiding on a big base, I'm bringing a fucking jackhammer as well to backward walls. Okay, right. F1 grenade. I'm putting it in D. Yeah, I'm like
Put it below D.
below D. Yeah. We'll put it in the dog shit area. We won't even grade it.
Before people say, "Oh, well, you can throw it in," this is raiding. This is not PvP.
Yeah, it's
PvP. It'd be a bit higher, but. Nah.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it below. You know what I'm gonna do? First of all, I'm gonna move the C4 out of the way. There it is. There's the layer. I'm gonna write on here. I'm just gonna write the word dog. No, as in dog. And we're gonna just put this in its own little box. There we go. Because it's useless. Okay, right. Where are we up to? Satchel.
It's at least a D because it is used for traps.
Wait, did we miss some?
Well, it is in D. It's in dog. D for dog.
Oh,
D for dog, yeah.
No, we haven't missed any.
I feel like we haven't done hatchet and stuff yet. Well, satchel. Look, let's do
No,
satchel. Then.
hatchet, and
Yeah,
that's
we
there.
We haven't got to metal hatchet and stuff yet. Right, yeah.
That
So
has to be A, right?
satchel. What are people saying? C, satchel A, turrets and shotguns. It works against. F. Some people are saying F.
Has to be A.
Satchel A. A. You think A? Why do you think A?
A, I'm gonna piss Jordan off. It's D. No, I'm joking.
No,
I actually-
satchel has to be A because it's, you know what I mean. You're not gonna take HV rockets to raid a door. Well, you could, but you're most likely to take the satchel.
See,
would say probably.
I agree with what Mars just said. Satchel costs way too much. It is 1,000 gunpowder. It is 1,000 gunpowder to make one satchel. Sorry, to make 4 satchels and go through a door. It's 960, but it's basically 1,000.
I'm getting B's here.
I think B.
And A. I'm getting both a B and
I think it's potentially A, but I'm gonna put it in B, and I'm gonna tell you why. I think for what it is, it's expensive. I think you could craft 1 rocket and a bit of explo ammo,
It's very unreliable.
and it's unreliable. It's time consuming. If you're trying to raid quickly and it's constantly dudding, I've had satchels dud 3-4 times, and that's not uncommon. We actually laugh about it when it happens. Good at the start, and it's easy to get. It's good.
I agree with that.
It's good to start. It's easy to get. It's not very useful late game. It's too expensive, but because it's good at the start and it's easy to get, is why it's in B. Like, I would actually put it lower, but because it is good, I'm gonna put it in B. Like, this is like, you know, not essential raid tools, but you should have them. Bear in mind, B isn't a bad
Some people are
rating.
saying that it's because it's easy to get and use, and you don't need like a launcher for it and stuff.
Well, that's why I'm not putting it in
That's why some people are
C.
saying
like, I suppose, but it's very expensive as well. It's very expensive. Like, you could craft.
I will say, if you're thinking about just like pure efficiency, then yeah, no, that's more of a B one.
Yeah, if we're thinking about like value to like raid potential.
That's what we're technically wanting to do, right?
Yeah. C4.
Well, S. Like,
It's gotta be S tier. It's gotta be S tier, really. It's expensive though. But like,
it is
what else are you
expensive,
gonna
but for
use
raiding-
to go through
for
HQ?
raiding, come on, it's just so quick. It's just so reliable.
A,
Come
S.
on, you can. If anybody puts it below S, you just.
Like, I could see why it would go in A, but I do think you need C4, A in my opinion.
I've gotten 4 A's so far.
I've gotten mostly A's, but I've gotten like I'm pretty split actually, A's and S's. Maxwell, this is all wrong, mate. No, we are counting cost too. Yeah, we are counting cost, but like, how else are you gonna get through HQM? You have to go through HQM. Are you gonna use 16 rockets? Or are you gonna use 7 C4 and a bit of Explo? Can I have my input with sensible argument? Go on, Sticks. Go on, give it to me. Give me your sensible argument, because I think it's
Mixed and sensible doesn't go together.
I think it's S because
14 rockets and a bit of expo ammo for that. I mean, yeah.
it is expensive, and a lot of people raid with rockets more. No splash. That is a good point. You know what?
But again, can I just say, rockets aren't. If we're going by cost, rockets aren't exactly the most. They're not exactly cheap.
No, but
either.
I'm pretty sure the cheapest way of going through high quality metal is by rocket and expo.
Yeah, I'm thinking that as well, actually.
And I just realized something else, that the C4 actually kind of belongs with the jackhammer, in my opinion, because it's also situational.
Yeah, I'd
But
agree with
again,
that.
At the same time, we done speed with the satchel. Like the C4 is just so much quicker than doing rockets and explosive ammo.
I agree with both of you. I agree, but you both have good
That's
points.
also another thing. It's like if you need speed, then probably C4 is probably the best. That's a good situation.
C4 is also the quickest way to raid, which is a good point. You chuck C4 on, you're done. No, that's it. You.
That's how I rated that one base the other day.
People
I
are
did
saying
rocket Explo.
People are saying it's oh, sorry, you go.
Rocket Explo, the walls, and then you go like I struck one C4 on their door to the TC.
The
Okay.
people are saying about the cost, but again, you're not going to be crafting C4 until you have that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it in A. No.
Move
Yeah.
instant to tier 3 to get this Blizzard approved.
Bean can is D. Bean can's more useful than Ensign bullet. I'm gonna leave it an A. I think it's a good A though. Like, I think it's very efficient. It's very quick. It's also very expensive. So that's why I'm gonna put it there. I think in terms of like I will always run C4. I will always have everything from these 2 rows no matter what. But the no splash and how expensive it is means it's only really good to put on HQM or like HQM doors, HQM walls. That's basically it. You don't really use C4 for anything else, and even then, if you can get away with using rockets, you probably will. I'm out then. You're not listening. Richard.
I still think it's S because I want to put up the argument that I think it's just you need 2 things for rockets.
What do you mean?
2 things for explosive ammo.
What do you mean C4 isn't expensive if you're good at the game? It's expensive whether you're good or bad at the game. It doesn't matter how good you are. The cost is the same no matter how good you are. Spear is B. Why is Spear B? Nah, dude. Like, Spear's just... The only reason Spear's a C is because everyone can use it.
Nah, we're talking about C4 right now.
Alright, we're moving on. We're moving on. Yeah, we've... Salvage sword.
Oh,
Sword. I mean, that's the same with with a jackhammer in my opinion, actually, because
Really?
it,
You put a sword up with C4?
no. Listen, hear me out. It's obviously not as good as a jackhammer, but you can go through stuff pretty easily with that.
Like wooden walls and
So-
stuff, though.
Yo, why don't we just put it
Yeah.
in an S since we put C4 in a A?
I think I think a sword belongs in B because it has its uses. You what? You got C and B. I'll put it in B. People are saying C and D in my chat. I'd say we'll put it in C then because it has its uses, but it's only really against wood. Let's be honest. Oh, come on, who's bringing swords to raids? What are we talking about?
C4 and A.
Yeah, that's pretty close to S. It's not saying it's bad.
That's ridiculous.
I'm saying it's not as good as explosive bullets and rockets.
Wow, Watson, what? Shut up, Kirsty.
What's getting triggered?
Oh, I'm not. It's fine.
Right, okay, look. Here's what we're doing. We're moving on. Fire arrow.
That's pretty much the same as that's a D.
A D.
No, C. No, because it's not useless.
It's the same as instant.
I'd say it's the same as Ensign.
Well, actually, yeah. No, fair enough. When you put it like that.
D.
Every
day.
It is just instant in arrow form, right? I mean,
C, yeah, C4 is only positive as its speed. I don't want to keep talking about C4 though. We're moving on. D. People are saying D. I'm putting it in the same as Ensign because it's basically the same as Ensign. It's just a cheap Ensign and it's not even that good. The fire, like I've taken fire arrows to wooden bases. I've taken like 8 and been like, yeah, easy. Jump on the roof, 8 arrows. Chucks 8 arrows on, does like 40 damage. They don't do a lot of damage. Ensign's actually better than fire arrow, if anything. I'm putting it there because, you know, it has a use. It's just not very useful. Put it with grenade. Put it with grenade. Nah, we're going to leave it.
I know how to make Watson feel better. Move the jackhammer to the right a little bit and put the C4 in front of it. So it's like C4 and then jackhammer.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay, look, I'll do that.
Because then it's like, you know, it's like more at the top.
Oh, there. We'll just do it that way.
Yeah.
Wait, which one's the?
Oh, please move to C4 now because there's a massive gap there.
Okay. Where's the C4? It's one of these. I found it.
There you go. Alright.
I should have named all these. Right, there we go.
Now,
Okay, look.
there we go.
Right, we're down to the last couple. We've got metal hatchet. Flame arrows B. Man, I came late at the party and it's all wrong. I'm sorry, Richard.
C.
This is my
C.
opinion at the end of the day as well.
I would put it in C, but then again, I know we're not on it, but you need to make more space in dog.
Okay, I'm putting it in C because I would say it is equally as useful as like a spear, potentially, or a metal pickaxe,
Salvage Tor.
or a salvage sword.
Isn't the salvage axe the same as a...
No, it gets damaged faster, but I think it does the same damage. Same with pick, the salvage one, it gets damaged faster, but it does the same damage as a regular pick. Bruh. Dog? Nah, dude. Metal hatchets have their uses. Remember, you're chopping out sleeping bags. You're chopping out wall, like your backside in wooden walls, stuff like that. Early wipe.
Normal axe should be D. It's shit.
I think it's better than a salvaged axe.
I never used like that, so I don't know. I have like no input on that.
What's my record for dislikes? I don't know. Probably quite high. Rock needs to be God tier. Okay, right, look. Salvaged hammer.
Dog.
No,
You put that in S, mate. I'm leaving.
Okay. No, it's not, obviously, it's not S.
It's not S. It's not even A. I think it's B.
It's not A.
No, B. No.
It's
What?
B. No.
It's
no,
B.
Watson,
It's
hear me
B.
out, hear me out.
Listen.
When did you
Listen.
use a salvaged hammer?
No, Watson, hear me out. You have never used this before, right?
I have used one.
Okay, on what?
On
They're
Rust.
they're actually
Yeah, but on-
surprisingly useful. Okay, I will say that if you haven't raided with a salvaged hammer,
Hear me out.
Let's
Watson,
I
hear me
tell
out.
you,
I
let's
was
I
doing a
tell you.
raid before. I was doing a raid before in the desert, and we had just a bunch of salvaged axes in a box, and I started whacking a metal door with it, and it's surprisingly quick.
surprisingly quick.
Hammer says best thing ever.
It's literally very surprising.
It
Okay.
doesn't break quickly, and it has its uses,
Okay.
just
okay,
as
I'll
like an
admit I'm
incinerator
wrong.
rocket.
I don't know anything about it. That's fine.
But you know what?
I'm wrong.
I'm actually tempted to move up Incin and HV rocket up to A tier.
Well, can we move C4 up to S, please? If you do.
I think
If anything, I would move. If anything, I would move like Incent down.
Incin rocket down.
I just never like feel like I have a use for it.
I think they have their uses. Mainly like you shoot it into the base, people can't get out. You can use one Incin rocket can take down an auto turret. One Incin rocket does that. Hammer's S tier. Hammer's not S tier. Hammer's the only reason it's there is because it's cheap.
Incent rocket is inconsistent as fuck.
Yeah, but it depends. Yeah, Incin rocket is inconsistent. That's probably why it shouldn't belong in A. But I mean, that's it. We've done it. That is. I think that's pretty good, actually. I'm a bit more surprised when I have more stuff in A. Like, I didn't want to think about this at all until I sat down and did this. So I've not thought about it. We've decided everything as we go along. Maybe some stuff does need to be moved up or down, but I think as a general rule, this is pretty good. I did add a couple of things I wasn't sure about. Like, I didn't want to add spears initially. I didn't want to add axe and stuff. But I thought we'll put more stuff in just to make it more fun. D tier, just to review this quickly. None of this is particularly useful, and you don't need any of it. C tier, again, none of this is particularly useful, and it's better to have, and it's like good for like cheap little meme raids and like, eco raiding. But again, not particularly useful. B tier, I'd say it's pretty useful to have all of this. If you have this stuff, it'd be good to have it. It'd be pretty useful, but not essential. Everything in A and S is essential no matter what. S tier is the cheapest, most efficient. A tier is great and good to have, and you need to have it, but you have to have S tier. F1 grenades are better at breaking deployables and traps than a bean can. But why would you break? I mean, I don't know. I would argue bean cans are better than F1s. Maybe F1s do have their place, for shotgun traps, things like that. But that's part of the dialogue, that's part of the conversation. Maybe one day it'll be moved up, but for now, this is Max's Rust Boom tier list. And we will do more. Maybe we'll do another one tomorrow.